right now, I want to talk with Marty Racine, who is the former editor of the Ruidoso News in Ruidoso, New Mexico. And, Marty, thank you so much for coming on the program tonight.
Well, thanks for having me on.
You bet. I read your column today, and I got to tell you, I mean, I have not really heard about this story out of Ruidoso, New Mexico, but it's pretty bizarre. The mayor in Ruidoso issued what? He issued an executive order that would ban guns from, quote, all public property of the village of Ruidoso?
Well, it's been pretty ambiguous, and no one is really sure what he really meant when he issued this. And if you read between the lines, it seemed like he was trying to ban guns throughout the village, because he called it all village property, whatever that means. I mean, you could take that to the streets, you could take that to the sidewalks, any of the buildings in town, and that got people questioning what's he trying to do here. And a number of people, this is Lincoln County, this is the Old West, and we pride ourselves on our independence and our right to bear arms. And he pretty much put something out there that we just didn't understand. And so a group of people went to the mayor, and he and asked him, "What do you really mean by this all village property?"
Mm-hmm.
And then he still didn't give us a straight answer. And by then, a number of people spread the word. The Gun Owners Association of America and some other people from around the state came to a city council meeting on September 13th to speak their mind during a public input session and to oppose this. And then he circulated a press release trying to backtrack or explain what he really meant, and it only confused things even more.
Okay, what did the press release say?
Well, let me go back here. Let me go back online here, because the press release basically said that he only meant it in village buildings and all public gatherings, whatever that means. I mean, to me, that's very vague.
Yeah.
And still, that didn't mollify anybody. And now, what we have now, if I sound a little bit confused, it's because everybody's confused.
Well, it sounds like it.
We really don't know what the mayor really intended. Let me give you a real quick background. I was the editor of the Ruidoso News from 2004 to 2011. I just retired this year. We endorsed Mayor Ray Alborn for mayor out of about 4 candidates in 2010.
Okay.
He took a very strong stand on another issue, had nothing to do with guns, and I thought he had a lot of moxie, let's put it that way, on that. We endorsed him. I know the mayor personally and like him. A lot of people find him very charming and friendly. We don't dislike the mayor personally. But what he did here was issue an executive order without the council even in being involved. And I think where I come from as a journalist is I get my hackles up when elected officials think they can do more than what they're really authorized to do. And this is a case where he just issued this executive order thinking that he could do it. He was backed up by the village attorney. And to me, it's a violation of the New Mexico Constitution.
Yeah, you point out in your column that New Mexico's state constitution says, quote, "No law shall abridge the right of the citizen to keep and bear arms for security and defense. No municipality or county shall regulate in any way an incident of the right to keep and bear arms."
Exactly. And it basically mirrors the U.S. Constitution on this issue. And we are, I could tell you, I own weapons myself, and I think here's the situation. I really think that, as you probably know, there's a number of people that just are not comfortable with guns in the neighborhood, whether it's in a building or in a park or whatever. And I think the mayor feels that way. His wife feels that way. And, I can understand that. But this is against the Constitution, and I think it really leads to a false sense of security in village buildings. From what I understand now, we have a council meeting coming up on Tuesday, the 27th, and basically he is proposing. He's backtracking. He's proposing that this order cover only village buildings, which is a village hall, the village library, and the senior center. There are people who oppose all this who might still agree that, yeah, we can possibly understand why you wouldn't want pistols on hips in a village council meeting. We can understand that. There are others who oppose this that will adamantly say this is unconstitutional, and we're going to fight this. And the village is setting itself up for litigation.
Well, see, and I think that's a really interesting point, Marty. I mean, yes, you have the ideological issue, but you also have the legal issue.
Exactly, and I think this is where the village attorney has pretty much let the village down. Let me. I'm going to I'm on the web here. Let me see here. The regular items on Tuesday the 27th. Here's how it reads. Discussion and possible action on the mayor's executive order from August 5th, 2011, regarding banning firearms and ratification procedures for formal and lawful adoption by the governing body. And I know that's a lot of legalese there, but
yes, it is.
Yeah, we'll have. Yeah, I mean the whole thing has been couched in vague terms. I talked to I have a friend we have a mutual friend in the media that knows the mayor, who told me that the mayor told him, and I can't verify this from the mayor, but I'm just passing this along.
Okay.
That the mayor told him that if he had his druthers, he would make firearms. He would ban firearms in the village of Ruidoso. He knows he can't do that. He knows he can't do that politically or any other way. But if that's the case, he's just trying to get away with what he can here, and he's trying to do it in the name of keeping Village Hall safe. Mm-hmm. This came from an episode on August 5th, where a gentleman, a lot of people know him, Tony Sino. He was the head of the Libertarian Party here for a while. He's run for office. He's pretty well known. He wears a pistol on his hip and was addressing the council on that night with a pistol, and apparently that caused a firestorm among a few people, and that's where it all started from. Tony Sino is an intelligent man, very erudite, very well. He knows, he makes it clear where he stands. Mm-hmm. Second Amendment, and he is not the kind of guy that's going to should intimidate anybody in a village council meeting. And yet, some people felt, or they said, or according to the mayor, that he was intimidating, and that's what started this whole thing. Everybody knows Tony is just not going. I mean, this is where we stand. Some people feel like we're safer without pistols, and Tony's basically saying, no, we all have a right by the Constitution to defend ourselves, and he is not the kind of guy. Anybody who knows Tony is not afraid of him. So
but I mean, again, I think if you want to have that debate, that's great to have the debate, but it is ultimately a matter of what the village is legally allowed to do, and it sounds like under the New Mexico State Constitution, the preemption law is pretty darn strong. The state legislature is the body that determines the gun laws in the state of New Mexico.
Exactly, and I don't think I think the only way out for the mayor here would be, I think, I'm not an expert in New Mexico law,
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm not
as a journalist. I have not been necessarily a champion for the Second Amendment. I've got a 40-year career in journalism on all kinds of issues, but from what I understand, is that there might be a caveat or some sort of an exception to this to the Constitution in the case of an emergency. Now, you can put quotes around that word, and no matter how you interpret that, I don't see an emergency here.
Not based on what you've told me.
No.
I mean, again, I guess this is. It sounds like ultimately. If the council decides to move forward with this and adopt this officially, I mean, it just sounds like it is opening the door to all kinds of legal ramifications. I'm curious, though, Marty, the crowd on Tuesday night at this city council meeting, do you expect it to be a big one? I
think it'll be a big one. They will not be able to speak. The rules of the village council here is, and I don't know where it is in other states, but in this state, every council has the right to set the ground rules for public input, and in fact, to the point where they will not even accept public input. In Village of Ruidoso, basically their rules are that people can speak on items that are not on the agenda. So on September 13th. When this kind of really came to the fore publicly, this was not on the agenda. So during the public input portion of the meeting, that's when a number of people came to the podium to speak about this issue. Now that it's on the agenda, and even I'm not an attorney, I can't really decipher all the language on this, but
right.
But it is on the agenda. Because of that, they will not take any public input on this issue Tuesday. I would think, however, that there'd be a number of people who are interested in this enough to show up and to see what happens. I think there are three things. Well, just guessing here, I would think that the council. I have a feeling that the council is not real happy with the mayor issuing an executive order without their input. Mm-hmm. And that's where I come in as a journalist. I've always felt when I get my hackles up when politicians do things when they think they can just either get away with it or there's not going to be a whole lot of repercussions or no one's going to push back on it. And in this case, I think the mayor just was full of himself and got away with it. Thought he could get away with it without any kind of blowback, and now he's got the blowback. He's retreating a little bit. How the council comes in on this, I'm not quite sure. I'm a little. I believe there are 6 councilors. The mayor breaks a tie vote if it comes to a tie, and if the council wants to completely rescind this, by the way I count the votes. We're looking at maybe I could see 2-2, and then the other 2 that could be 3-3, and of course the mayor would vote it. So we're getting close here, and I'm just trying to see how I'm trying to read the tea leaves, and I'm not quite sure how they're gonna fall. But
all right, well, listen, Marty, I appreciate you coming on the program tonight. Maybe we could have you on the show Wednesday just for an update.
Yeah, let's do that, and we can do that Wednesday at your leisure, and I'd be happy to give a report.
That'd be great.
And we'll see. I just think that there's a lot of opposition that the mayor just did not expect on this.
Shocking. Hey, Marty, thank you again for coming on the program, and we'll talk again next week.
Yeah, give me a call.
All right, thank you, sir. Marty Racine joining us, the former editor of the Ruidoso News in the village of Ruidoso, New Mexico.